So you need to focus on your ideal client profile and focus on either an industry vertical, a size of a business, a geographic territory, a psychographic, which is like a mindset of an individual. So for example, for our exec vision software platform, right, which is you're watching me use, if you're not a coaching-oriented either sales or support leader, so someone who has a pool of people that lives and dies by the phone, and you believe in the power of call coaching, I don't care about you. You know, I mean, I do, but you're not going to buy anything from me, so what's the point? So as soon as I can smell someone that doesn't fit that profile, I'm out of Dodge. I'm going to the next one, because your most precious commodity is what? Your own time. Your own time. So I highly recommend that you specialize in like a vertical, for example, and then when you're in that vertical, when you talk to the prospect, rather than saying, oh, well, hi, I do risk insurance or whatever, instead you say, every time I talk to business owners of florists, they tell me things like blank. You see what I mean? So talk about the challenges that are common to that very specific population of people. Don't talk about, this is worth noting, I'm glad some people are taking your pens out. Don't talk about what you do. What you do is features. Oh, hi, I'm calling to talk about such and such insurance policy. Because then you're selling. On the cold call, we said don't sell on the cold call. So if you're not selling, what do? Talk about topics, talk about trends, talk about what their peers are experiencing, talk about the sorts of things that other business owners that are just like them are doing to mitigate risk. Molly, you know, that's funny, I was just talking to you the other day to Umar, my friend Umar, who owns a florist down in Canton, and you own a florist over at Fells, and we were talking about how she's really concerned about this risk. How are you thinking about this risk? And you're getting her to go, oh shit, I never really thought about that. Right, that's a really good point. Would you be open to a meeting where we can sit down and I can share how I helped her or how I helped him? See what I mean? Okay, so talk about the topic. So let's do, I'm gonna play a call where I got hung up on. It's a grand total of 22 seconds. It's happened to everyone. It will happen to you probably later on this week if you make any calls.
Housing, Craig.
Hi, Craig. It's Steve Richard from .com. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Good. Can you hear me okay? You're very faint.
I can.
Okay, great. Do you have a quick second?
For .com, no, I don't. But thanks.
Oh, wait, why do you feel that way?
I just love the dramatic hang on. Okay, so let's break down the call. Break it down objectively, suspend your judgment. All right, a lot of people are probably thinking, well, there you go, with permission to continue. If you didn't do permission to continue, it wouldn't make any difference. I can show you data that shows that this doesn't really matter, as long as you have a rhythm for yourself. That permission to continue that you heard, I get it on average 80% of the time. So I'm good, all right? The 20% of the time I don't do it, I say, when's a better time to call back? So I did permission to continue, but he said for, and it was sanitized, but for is a company called rent.com. For rent.com, no, I don't. Did you hear that? And he hung up. So why? Why did he hang up?
Bad previous experience.
It sounds like a bad previous experience. It could be something else. What else could it be?
He's in that 57% or whatever, he's not in the market.
It could be.
I think he's in the market, is what you're...
It could be that he's in the 57%. We actually find out later he's in the 40%. But it could be he's in the 57%. That's a really good answer. What else? What could it be?
Bad day.
It could be a bad day. It literally could be just a bad day. You never know what's going on in the person's life. And if you call in another day, remember what I said, they won't remember you. We had a guy in our Vorsight operation, which again is something called outsourced appointment setting. So some people outsource this cold calling to us, to our guys, to our team. And we had this one guy named Joey Klein. He got a meeting with the same CFO, speaking of CFOs, the same CFO of $1 billion plus company for 3 different clients that all sell different stuff in the same week, and he never changed his name. And the CFO had no idea. On the third time they talked, the CFO goes, boy, this kind of reminds me of something that happened earlier this week. And he's like, oh, isn't that funny, huh? And then they sort of laughed it off, and then he got the meeting. So we got 3 meetings for 3 different companies, but he was Joey Klein from company A, Joey Klein from company B, Joey Klein from company C. How funny is that?
How important is it to actually state your company name?
If you're on a call like this, you have to. It's just considered a professional, just mode of business that we all are in this country. So introducing yourself, leading by name and company names is a required part of the call. So let's go back to Craig Chapman. I'm calling him back here after you hung up on me. Let's hear how it goes. And then we'll break it down.
How's it?
Craig, it's Steve. I apologize. I know you hung up on me. I'm not stupid, but I feel like we did something to deserve that. And I don't know what it is. I did some research on you.
I've dealt with .com before, and
What happened?
charging.
Okay, so that assumption was correct, bad experience. I said, we must have done something to deserve that. I know he hung up on me, I'm not stupid, by the way, that was just impromptu, I've never tested. If you get hung up on, then you call back. If you say I'm not stupid, does it work? We never tested that. Yeah.
You call right back,
Yeah, I called right back. I called right back, yep.
That was the question I had.
Yep, this was a callback right away. Now, here's what I can tell you. I don't have the actual stats to show this, but when you call back right away, I'd say probably somewhere in the 60 to 70% of the time they won't answer. But in the 30% of the time that they do answer, your odds just went up. So think about it like I'm in Vegas, I'm throwing craps, I want to shave the dice. I want to stack the deck in blackjack. That's how you got to think about this. Every little odds thing. I'll give you another odds thing. If you call someone and they don't answer, because a lot of you said getting people on the phone is tough. If you hang up and call them right back again, so when you get the voicemail, you hang up, you call them right back again, it turns out 17% of the time they'll answer on what's called the double dial. Now, does that take a little bit more time? Yeah. So if you have a limitless list, maybe that's not the best strategy, but I think most people in this room have more of a finite list of ideal clients. Double dials are a great way to do it. All right, so every little thing, do I have their direct line? My odds go up. Do I double dial? My odds go up. All these little things matter and make a big difference. Am I at the right level of seniority? Not too junior, not too senior, Goldilocks level, just right. My odds go up. So all those little things make a difference when you add them up together. All right, so let's go and hear what I say. So I call back, I say, I'm not stupid, and we'll hear what Craig says.
Craig, it's Steve. I apologize. I know you hung up on me. I'm not stupid, but I feel like we did something to deserve that. And I don't know what it is. I did some research on you.
I've dealt with .com before, and
What happened?
charging 1 month for the advertising fee for rent was just a ridiculous price compared to other forms of media.
Got it. So basically it was a bad return on investment for you.
Correct.
Okay. So how long ago was that?
Well, it's been a couple of years.
2 years ago?
Back when you guys were first starting out.
Okay, when we were first starting out. I don't know if you knew this. There have been a whole bunch of changes. Frankly, sometimes I get that from property owners like you and landlords like you.
You're about to hear me use two things together. I'm going to use pre-call research that I wasn't able to say the first time because he hung up on me. When they hang up on you, you can't use your pre-call research. Another thing that's funny is when people gather pre-call research, but then don't use it in the call or in the email, I'm like, why did you even bother? You know, it's like a tree falling in the woods and no one's there to hear it because it's making noise. So if you have pre-call research written down, but you don't say it, like it's not helping your cause. So I'm about to use pre-call research with another technique. This is kind of a fun one to write down. Do any of you have a situation where you have to call back someone you used to do business with or someone where you met with them, but they didn't do business with you? Does that ever happen in your world? Okay. This is called the ex-significant other approach. Okay? If you are trying to get together with an ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend, what do you not do? What do you not say? Remember, in this scenario, you are trying to get together with the ex-boyfriend or girlfriend. What do you not say? Come on! Everyone knows the answer to this. What do you not say? What's that? Are you seeing anybody? That's a good one. You don't say that for sure. What do you not talk about?
The past.
The past, right? You don't talk about all the reasons why you broke up. If you're trying to get back together with them. What do you say instead?
Talk about the future.
Right, and what generally is like, hey, it's been a long time, I've changed, right? So things are different. So this works brilliantly well. It's been a long time, a lot has changed with us, and this verbiage trust me, it works. A lot's changed with us, I'm sure a lot's changed with you. Let's get a cup of coffee. It works unbelievably well. right? You don't say, oh, you remember how I forgot your birthday? You remember how I was lazy? I played video games all the time? Like, you don't say that stuff. You say a lot's changed. So I'm going to use the X significant other here, along with pre-call research, and you'll hear what happens.
A whole bunch of changes. Frankly, sometimes I get that from property owners like you and landlords like you. There have been a whole bunch of changes in our organization. I know you've got literally hundreds of homes there in Big Rapids. I watched your video, and I was wondering
How did I find the video? I did the Google search you saw before, his name with quotation marks, Big Rapids, Michigan, or Iowa, or whatever, and this video popped up. I changed the time parameter to past year. A video of him promoting his properties popped up. He talked about how many properties he had. Bam! There is my pre-call research. That's how I get into the system too. So I use it.
you might reconsider just having a quick chat with us on what's changed since then. And, you know, if there's no opportunity to win back your business, I respect that. If there is,
But Steve, you're good enough to call back and polite enough to do so.
Hear how it comes together?
Wow.
And it says you're good enough to call back, polite enough to do so. So you take someone who literally hung up on your face and you turn it into, all right, I'll talk. What is it? What do you guys got going on? Now, the temptation here would be to, but what should you not do? So what I'm not going to play is this part of the call where I'm talking here about the challenges, just like we spoke about a minute ago, talk about the challenges and the topics and the trends. In this case, it was reputation management, as opposed to talking about, what we sell. And then after that, a little back and forth, we'll close it for next steps. You see the next steps right there. So the software's picking up. That's the part of the call we talk about next steps.